Your engine could be leaking oil from very different points. It could be at your valve cover seal, it could be your oil filter seal, it could be your oil pan seal, it could be so many other seals around the car through which oil is actually supposed not to seep through. But over time, because of the different heat cycles, your car is always running hot and cold for a long time. All these seals become hard, brittle, and crack, and before you know it, you're having oil leaking through. So in today's video, we're going to be replacing the oil filter housing seal. I'm Joe, and welcome to Gear Culture. To get our job started, we will need some tools to help us unfasten the oil filter housing. Of course, we do have a set of sockets that we'll be using, and of course some of these other bits, the tocks that we'll be using to remove the intake scoop. Then of course we have a power tool, simplify work definitely. Then we do have the seal itself, because this is what exactly we're going to be replacing, removing the old one and putting this. I got an Arling. These are actually OEM, and you definitely want to work with something that is OEM spec, because, well, you don't want any leaks in the future. Of course, keep our hands safe. Gloves, very important. Then, of course, as we fasten back our oil filter housing, we want to make sure we torque it down to spec. So we have a torque wrench. Then, of course, we have an oil filter cap remover. So we're going to be using this to remove it. Without wasting time, let's get started. To give us more working space around here as we get this off, we'll need to get this piece off. So I'll go ahead and remove it. Then we'll gently get this out, disconnect it from here, put it off. I'm gonna use my handy dandy blower. Next, we get to unfasten this oil filter, because what we want to do is remove this. And as you remove this, there's already oil in here. So before all the oil in your engine, as it's pumped from the bottom all the way through with the oil pump and building a lot of pressure, it goes through the filter, then goes through back down into the feeding galleries that go into the engine. So we need to remove this at the top, but do that, we're going to have to remove 3 bolts, 1 at the front here and 2 at the back. These are 10, they'll need a 10 millimeter hex socket to be able to remove. I'll go ahead and loosen this so the oil can drain to the bottom. We don't want a mess as we're working out on this. Of course, it's supposed to be hand tight. Yeah, but I don't have enough grip in my hands to do that. So I'll make use of this tool. Just fit it on there tightly, then push a bit. There you go. This is enough to let in some air so that the oil can drop to the bottom. Just loosen it a bit. We're not removing it at the moment, just enough to let in air, and the dripping starts, or the oil going back down. Now we'll need a 10 millimeter bolt socket to remove the bolt here, the other one there, and the one further back there. Just to make my work easy, I've just decided to connect these sockets all the way with the reducer right over there to get all the way, make it as long as possible, because I like long things. Okay, let's break it loose. One out, 2 to go. Two out, 1 to go. It's a little bit in a tight place. There you go. All 3 bolts are out, and you should try and wiggle this out of the way. Or rather, wiggle it loose. Ah, that was quick. And it's a little messy. Hey, let me get some cloth. You can see all that oil. And whoever did this job earlier used RTV. Oops. So whoever did this job before used RTV, and you can see this is not good. You'd rather get the actual seal. They're very cheap, very affordable. Use the right stuff. Otherwise, this doesn't help with anything. In fact, it worsens, because your oil could and your car could end up sucking in. These things will break off and they'll find themselves through the galleries and blocking your channels for the oil, causing oil starvation and catastrophic engine blowout. So please use the right stuff. So I'm going to clean up all this area. We don't want a lot of this oil here. We're going to clean this surface. It needs to be as clean as possible, so by the time we put back the housing, we don't have any oil residue in between the seal and the mating surfaces that are actually machine polished. So we'll do that next. Let's wipe down the oil that is there. So now going over to the oil filter housing, we have to be very, very careful as we're cleaning, not to drop or push anything into any of the inner surfaces, because that will be picked up by the oil. So we're going to be cleaning while pushing everything that we are cleaning outwards. Then also we're going to make sure that we remove this RTV carefully without dropping it on the inside, because we do not want that to be picked up by the oil and it gets into the galleries or down into the oil pump and block out the pickup for the oil pump. So we're going to try and carefully remove these so that we don't have them running loose within our channels. There's actually a lot of oil leaking through this point, come to think of it, because the oil that it passes through here has a lot of pressure, because it's all the way straight from the oil pump straight into this point. So usually there's a lot of pressure, and if the seal is bad, that is one place that will leak the most. You also want to make sure that this valve is functional, so just looks fine. With the housing cleaned down, we're going to go ahead now and try and remove the old seal. There's always a bit that you can pull up from here. So that's what I'm going to use. Just lift it a bit. It's very dry. It's hard. It's plastic. Yeah, see, it's broken. That's what I was talking about, the heat cycles. So carefully, I'll pry what is left in there. Slowly. This is non-functional as we speak. Slowly want to pull out the old one. It's just snapping in places, as you can clearly see. It's not malleable anymore. Okay, with the old seal out, we're going to clean out the spaces in there so that we make sure that The new seal has a nice place to sit. Now we clean out the channel itself carefully. With that done, we're going to fit in our new seal. Just push it in gently, just make sure it grips and sits in the right orientation. Don't force it, don't make it twist, just place it in. That way we'll know that it's going to seal properly. With that placed, now we're going ahead to reinstall the oil filter housing. With our newly installed seal lightly placed, we're going to make sure that it sits well in the right spaces the right way. So we'll place it in its right position. You'd actually feel the seal is pushing the housing off the surface, which is a good thing, meaning when we get to torque it down, it's going to hold and seal properly. So I'll go ahead and drop in the bolts. Okay, that's in the right hole. Do the same to the other. Position it right. Drop in the bolt, turn it a bit. Make sure you're not cross-threading it. That goes down in place. We'll also do the third one. Get it into position. It's a bit far, so I'll need to get something to help me do that. Now with that in place, we want to torque it down to 10 Newton meters. So done. Properly installed, and we know it's going to seal properly. Next, we're going to reinstall our filter. I'm not changing out the filter because I just recently installed it. Or rather, I recently replaced it. So let's just put this back in. Just a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. Yeah, that should be fine. With our oil filter housing installed, we put back everything else. We'll put back the air intake scoop. The next thing we want to do is start off the engine just to make sure that we don't have any leaks pouring all over the place. Alright, so we want to check if after fastening it down, everything is fine and there are no leaks. As you can see, no leaks, no leaks, no leaks. Earlier on mentioned 10 Newton meters of torquing them down, but in actual sense, it's supposed to be 22. My bad, it was a mistake on my side. But we bolt them down to 20 Newton meters and we should be fine. No leaks. So there you have it. That is how you get to fix out or replace a seal on the oil filter housing for a BMW's engine N45. So we simply just pulled out the old one, cleaned it out, pulled in a new one, bolted it down, and everything should be fine. That way we save some engine oil, we don't get to waste it, and our engine runs healthy. With that said, I hope you've learned a lot from this session. So keep your car healthy and change out whatever you need to change out at the right time. Peace!